In this video, we're going to go through on Raffles Primary School Preliminary Examination, Primary 6 2024 Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on question 1. Okay, so question 1 over here, we have 60,000 plus 5,000 plus 400 plus 3. So I'm going to do the working so it's easier for you to see. All right, so it will look something like this. Okay, so I created some rectangles so it's easier for you to see. So now we can just put the numbers. So here we will have 3 without anything, and then we will have 400, and lastly we have 65. So that means the answer is 65403. 65403 is option number 2 in this case over here. Let's move on to the next question. Question 2. What is the missing number in the box? 2, 5, 6, 2, 6. No two whole numbers. So that means we need to have 2 times. So 2 and then times 6 plus 5. So that is in this case over here, right? So that means we will then be equal to 2 times 6 is 12. So this will then become 12, right? So let's just break it down, right? 12 plus 5 over 6. Okay, and 12 plus 5, what would this become? This will then become equal to 17. So the answer to this is 17, which is option number 3. Okay, that's it. Let's move to the next question. Question number 3. So which of the following is the largest? Okay, so they've already added 0 for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 0 as well. So make all of the numbers have same what do you call this, same decimal place. Okay, so that means first convert, right, all to 3 decimal place. Okay, and then we can compare. So as easier to compare. Right, in this case over here, what will be the answer? What is the largest number? The largest number is 450, which is option number 2 in this case over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, question number 4. Okay, so what is the length of the bolt shown below? As you can see, so we can create get the gaps, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 gaps. So let's write down. Okay, all right, 5 gaps is equal to 1 centimeter. So 1 gap is equal to 1.0 divided by 5, which is 0.2 centimeter. Okay, so now we know how many gaps is this, so we can just calculate this part over here. So we can just write, so this is 1, 2, 3, so this will be 0.2 times 3 is 1.6. Okay, 1.6. And then after that we can get the next one, which is here. This should be 7.2. Okay, and this one over here, right? Let me draw a line so it's easier for you to put it down. Boop. All right, so 7.2. So that means, okay, in this case, length of bolt is equal to 7.2 minus 1.6, because equal to 7.2 minus 1.2 minus 0.4. That's how I calculate lah, which is basically 7 is 6 minus 0.4, right? 0.4 equal to 5.6. So the answer this is option number 1, the length of bolt. Wow, so long. Yes. Okay, let's move on to question number 5. What is 5% of 2000? So 5% is equal to 5 out of 100 times 2000. So we can do the cancellations of 100. Okay, and the cancellation of 2 zeros. So this will then become 5 times 20. And this will become 100. There you go. So the answer to question number 5 is number 2. Okay, which of the following shows one fifth of the one fifth of the figure shaded? One fifth. So over here, is it one fifth? You count the total. So one, two, three. So total is six. So this is 1/6 shaded. Okay, so which is technically not the answer. Here, very hard. Yeah, very hard to know. We honestly don't know. Okay, this one is can't find out. Okay, has no equal parts. Right. Okay, let's move on. Three over here, we have one. So two in one row. One, two, three, four, five. So that means it's 10. And then we have six. So six out of 10, which is equal to 3 out of 5, which is not what we want over here. Okay, so 3 out of 5 shaded. So this is also not it. And last one, this one. Okay, so we need to count over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we have 2. So this is 2 out of 10, which is equal to 1/5 shaded. And this is correct. There you go. So the answer is option number 4. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Right. Question number 7. Okay, so it says here, which of the following is not a net cube? So you kind of have to remember what is not a net cube. But if you remember what is a net cube, then that's great. So for 7, we know that 4 is correct. 3 over here, 1, 2. This one, yes, is correct. Then this one, yes, correct. This one is not it. So the answer is option number 1 over here. Okay, so this sadly about net cubes is you have to remember the shapes because it's easier that way. Okay, let's move on to question number 8. So it says here, arrange this distance from longest to shortest. So for me, usually what I like to do is I like to put it as in meters so that's easier to compare. Right, so in this case, 0.25 kilometers is equal to how many meters? 0.25 times 1000. 1000. 1000 equal to, in this case, 250 meters. So 2.25 is equal to 2 km and 250 meters. Right? Pretty straightforward. Let's move to the next one. 2 1/5. So 1/5 km is equal to 1/5. Okay, and then we multiply this by 1000. So it's basically 1000 divided by 5, which is 200 meters. So for this 2 km and how many meters? 200 meters. All right, so with this, which one is the longest? The longest is this. So we can write down longest, right, like this. And the shortest, pretty straightforward, is this one. Okay, so the longest 2.25, which is option number 4 lah. Cause the longest is this. Okay, let's move on to question number 9. So ACDF is a parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram. So you see over here. Okay, so and BED is a equilateral triangle. So this is equal. So I see over here. Right. So AFE is 68 degrees. Find BDC. Okay, BDC over here. So what we can do is we can get, we can get this green angle as what we see over here, right? And then after that, let me just get the green angle. And since we know this, I would say blue angle over here is 60, right? So let me just write down 60 degrees. Okay, so this blue angle over here 60, then we can get this, let me just put in red, this BDC red angle. Right, so with that said, let's get it. First, we need to get EDC, which is the green angle. So angle EDC is equal to 180 minus 68, and this is equal to 112. Right, so 112, yes, 112. Okay, yeah, yeah, so 112 degrees. Okay, and then we know angle BDE is equal to 60 degrees, right? Um, Angles in equilateral triangle, and then therefore angle BDC is equal to 112 minus 60. Alright, so 112, I'm just gonna put it here in this green angle over here, right? So this would then become 52 degrees. Okay, so the answer is option number 2 for question number 9. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. Okay, so a group of senior citizens was asked in a survey to choose one game they enjoy from Uno, chess, toss a ring, and bingo. The table represents their choices 55, 15, 25. What percentage of the senior chooses chess and bingo? So, first, we need to know what is bingo. Bingo is bingo. All right, so which is 100 minus 5 minus 15 minus 25. So 5 minus 15 is 100 minus 20 minus 25, which is equal to, okay, I'm gonna write it like this. Right. Okay, so and then we just minus 100 minus 20 minus 25, 100 minus 45, which is equal to 55%. So what's the percentage of chess and bingo? So chess plus bingo. So chess is 15 plus 55, which is 70%. There you go. All right, so that is option number 3. Okay, for question 10. Right, so next question, it says here the choices enjoyed by the senior citizens were also represented by a pie chart, but any of the games were not shown. The number of senior citizens choosing one of the games was 30. How many citizens took part in the survey? Okay, so we know that 25% over here is 1/4, so this is toss a ring. Okay, toss a ring, and then this toss a ring is 25% to 5%. Okay, toss a ring. Maybe I'll just write it like this: toss a ring, 25%. Okay, and then the largest one is bingo. So I'm gonna write here bingo, which is 55%. And then what is the smallest? The smallest is Uno. So I'm gonna write it here. So this is Uno, which is 5%. And then lastly, that means chess is 15%. So chess is this 30, and chess is also 15% in this case over here. So that means chess is 15%, which is equal to 30. So 1% is equal to 30 divided by 15, which is equal to 2. 100%, okay, is equal to 2 times 100 equal to 200, which is option number 3 in this case over here. All right, let's move to the next question. Question number 12. Okay, so a box, number of markers, percentage of markers which are red, 6 and 9. What is the ratio of the total number of red markers in box A and box B to the total number of markers in box A and box B? So total uh, in A plus B is equal to 100 plus 200 equal to 300. All right, so you also want to know markers rate in A, which is equal to 100 times 6%, which is very straightforward, equal to 6. So rate in B, right, is 200 times 9%. Okay, so that means this is basically um, 18%. 18, right? 209, yeah, which is basically 200 times 9 out of 100, which is 18 lah. Okay, so lastly, we want to get the total rate is equal to 6 plus 8, which is equal to, sorry, 6 plus 18, which is equal to 24. Okay, so total rate and total, so basically rate to total is equal to, in this case, 24 is to 300. So so that means we can divide by 6. Can we divide 24 by 300? Feel like we can. 24 300. Okay, we just divide by 6 first. Easier. Then we can divide further. So divide this by 6. Divide this by 6. So let's see if I have space over here. Okay, let me just put this. Okay, like this. Okay, so the total rate is this. So 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. Then 300 divided by 6 is 50. So we can still go 2 out of 25. Okay, so that means the answer is option number 4 here. Okay, let's move on to question number 13. So this one we just divided by 2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 13. So the figure below is made out of 6 identical rectangles like this, and then find the area of the shaded triangle. Okay, so this over here, so shaded triangle is equal to half of the big rectangle. Okay, so in this case over here, let me put in red. This is B is breadth. So B, let me just put in yellow. So B, this is length. This is length L, right? This is L, and this is B over here. Okay, so 6 identical triangle. Find the shaded. Go to 24. So another thing is we also know that this is one L, or in this case 2 B's. So so this is B, and this is B as well, as what you see over here. Okay, so in that case, we know that. So I'm just gonna write here. Let L be length. Let B be breadth. Okay. So with that said, what we see over here is that one length is equal to 2 breadths. So that means the 24 centimeters is equal to 2b plus 2l, right? Length and breadth. So that means one length is 2 breadth. So 24 cm is equal to 2b times 2 times 2b, right? Which is equal to 6b, 2 plus 2. So 1b is equal to 24. Yeah, 24 divided by 6, and this is equal to 4 centimeters. So we know one breadth is 4 centimeters. So shaded triangle is a half of big rectangle. So big rectangle length is equal to 24 centimeters. Big rectangle breadth is equal to 2 times 4, which is 8 centimeters. Right, so triangle is basically, base times height. Right, so shaded triangle is half of big rectangle, which is also the same as half times 24 times 8, which is equal to, so we can have 12 times 8, which is 96 centimeter square. There you go. So that's the answer. 2 is 96 centimeter square. All right, let's move to the next question. Question 14. So ABCD is a rhombus. Okay, rhombus is all equal sides. Okay, and AC is a straight line. Okay, AC is a straight line which is half. Find DEC. So DEC over here. All right. So what we can do is we can get Mm-hmm. ADC, right? So half of rhombus creates two isosceles triangle, right? Then angle ABC is equal to angle ADC, which is equal to 78 degrees. Give me the note. All right. So with that, we want to get this. So this whole thing over here, right, is equal to 78 degrees. Right. So angle EDC, right, EDC is equal to 78 minus 50, which is equal to 28 degrees. Right. So this, let me just put this as yellow. This one is 28 degrees, right? And then let's get this one. So let's make this green. So once we get the green angle, then we can solve this. So the angle for green is ECD is equal to 180 minus 78, and then we divide by 2. Okay, 180 minus 78, and then we divided by 2. Okay, 180 minus 78 is 102, divided by 2, this is 51. Alright, so we know that this over here is 51 degrees. Okay, alright, so then now we can get DEC. So angle DEC is equal to 180 minus 51 minus 28. This is equal to, so 51 minus 28 is 79. 180 minus 79 is equal to 101 degrees. There you go. So angle this is 101 degrees, which is option number 4. Okay, last one, question number 5. Not last one, but last of paper A, booklet A. Question VD says figure 1 shows a parallelogram with a perimeter of 50 centimeters. Figure 2 is formed using 3 such parallelograms, 108 centimeter. Find the length of AB. Okay, so we know that figure 1 is 50. So this is 50 centimeters. And this is 108 centimeters. Okay, so we know at the same time is this is AB. And then this is, I call this length, right? Length and breadth. Okay, so either way. So we have length over here. So let me just call this as L again. So let L be length of figure 1. Okay, so that means this is 1L. This is 2L. This is 3L. We have 3 L's. Can AB, so let B be breadth of figure 1. Okay, so this is B. So do you have B over here? Of course we do. This is B. This is B. And this is B. Alright. So this figure 1, figure 1 is equal to 2L times 2B. So 50 centimeters is equal to 2L times 2B. So 1L, not times, sorry, plus. Okay, this is also plus, right? So 1L plus 1B is equal to 50 divided by, because we just divide by 2 lah. Divided by 2, this is equal to 25. Okay, so then this is I would say L minus B, right? So this is L minus B, then goes the same as L minus B and L minus B. paste. Whoop, yep, yep. Okay, so there's figure 1. We know 1 LB. So figure 2 is equal to um what is this? So we have a couple of L minus, so this is B. So if I were to zoom it in, this whole thing is one length, right? This L, right? We know this L, and this is B. So that's what we call this L minus B. Okay, so figure 2 has 3L plus 3B plus 3 bracket L minus B. Right? So we know that what do you call this? Figure 2 is 108. 108 is equal to 3L plus 3B plus 3 bracket L minus B. Okay, oops, L minus B over here. So we can swap the 3L and 3B, right? 3L, 3L, oh yeah, so technically we can times this 3L minus 3B. 3L, yeah, that makes sense. So then this will then be 3L plus 3L minus 3B. B. So that means this will then be 108 will be, right, 6L minus, because basically 108 will be 6L, right? 3L minus 3B, 3L plus 3B, 3L. So B will cancel each other out, 6L. Oh, okay, great. Then 1L is equal to 108. Okay, and then divided by 6. Okay, and let's see if this is divisible. 6, and then you divide by 108. Okay, it is divisible, right? So with that, let me just zoom in a bit. Minus 6. This will then become 1. And then let's have a line. This will then become 4. 8 minus 4, 8. Okay, so that will be 18. Okay, so that means 1L divided by 6 is equal to 18. Right? So 1L centimeters. So we know 1L plus 1B is this. Then let's calculate the last thing, which is in this case over here. Let me just put this closer. Okay. Right. So 1L plus 1B is equal to 25. So 1B is equal to 25. 25 minus 1L. And we know what's 1L, which is equal to 25 minus 18. Okay. So here, which is equal to 7. So 1B is 7, AB is 7. There you go. The answer is 7. I mean 1. Option number 1, which is 7 centimeters. There you go. That's the answer. Let's move on to question number 16. Alright, question number 16 over here. Find the value of 11 out of 12 divided by 3. So this is equal to 11 out of 12. Okay, and then divide, we flip it to times, and then 3, we flip it to 1 over 3. That's what you see over here. Okay, so then we just multiply to each other like this. Okay, and what would this become? Right, this will then become 11 out of 36. So 3 times 12 is 36. Oop, there you go. So that's your answer. Right, so 11 out of 36. Let's move on to next question. Question 17. Right, 7 lines are drawn in a square grid. A lot of lines. Name the 2 lines that are parallel to each other. Herdy-der. Okay, so what we can do, I think it's EF and CD. Right, so because they are just half of this. Okay, I'm just gonna draw the line. So they are half. Let me read this out. Read and then read. Wait, let me duplicate. Okay, did I even? All right, like this. Okay, so yeah, CD and FE, CD and FE, or EF, right? Either way, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, So I would say CD is half of a square. CD is half of a square. F is also half a square. Okay, that's why they're parallel. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 18 over here. Okay, in programming guide shown, one movie leads to another where any breaks. What's the duration of the movie? Wonder. Okay, Wonder. Duration of movie Wonder is 720. So Wonder is from 7:20 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Okay, so this would then is 7:20 to 9:15. Okay, so let's break this down because I like to break it down. Okay, so 7:20 to 8 p.m. is equal to 40 minutes. Okay, 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. is equal to 1 hour 15 minutes. So total is equal to 40 minutes plus 1 hour 15 minutes equal to 1 hour 55 minutes. Okay, there you go. That's the answer. So this is 1 hour and this is 55 minutes. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 19. What is the percentage discount for the toaster shown? Okay, sale and usual price. So it's basically 56 out of 80. All right, and then you times, right, 100%. Okay, so what is the discount? So 56 out of 80, you can basically simplify this. Okay, so 56 out of 80 is you divide this by, if you guess 8, then you're right. So divide this by 8, divide this by 8. So 56 divided by 8 is equal to, right? So in this case, 56 divided by 8 is 7, and then 8 is out of 10. Okay, right. So that's how you simplify things over here. 7 out of 10. Okay, that means 7 out of 10. So this is equal to 7 out of 10, right? Times 100%. And I think from here, you probably know the answer. The answer is, cannot be 70%. Let me think. 56. Oh, yeah. So the sale price is, okay, 70%. This is not a discount though. This is the discounted price, sale price. So let me just equate this is equal to um sale price percent. So then the discount percent is equal to 100 minus 70. This is 30%. Okay, so make sure whatever you do, you know that the difference of discount and sale price as well. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question 20. So the bar graph shows the number of items sold in an electrical store. So how many more fans than washing machines were sold? Fans and then washing machine. Okay, so let's zoom it in. How many gaps are there? 1 and 2. So that means 2 gaps is equal to 10. So 1 gap is equal to 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. Okay, so now we know that 1 gap is 5. How many more fans? So fans, then washing machine is sold. So let's get fans. Fans is 95 over here. So I'm going to write the fans. Let me put the gaps down here. So fans are, let me make this red, 95. So 95. Okay, and then we want washing machine, right? So washing machine as well is 40. Okay, so this, let's duplicate this to 40. Okay, there you go. So now we know how many more fans than washing machine. So fans is equal to 95. Washing machines is equal to 40. So difference is equal to 95 minus 40. This is 55. Okay, so the answer is 55. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 21. Okay, find the value. Part A, find the value of the following when R is equal to 4. So this is equal to 9 times 4 minus 2. 9 times 4 is equal to 36 minus 2. 34. So the answer is 34. Okay, let's move on to part B. So 3R minus R divided by 9. So 3 times, this is 4 minus 4 out of 9. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, but either way, pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's do the multiplication first, which is 12 minus 4 over 9. So it's the same as 12. Sorry, 11 minus 11 plus 1 minus 4 over 9. So that means 11 plus 1 minus 4 over 9 is 5 over 9. So it's 11 5 over 9 lah. Okay. There you go. So the answer is 11 5 over 9. Okay, nothing new. Let's move on to the next question, 20A. So 32 0.47 to 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place is this. So decimal place. So digit at 1 decimal place is 0. So before 0, it is number 4, but number 4 is less than 5. So that means we round down, which is equal to 32. So that means 32.047. So we round down, which is 31.0 lah. Okay, so that's the answer, 31.0. Sorry, 32, not 31. 32.0. Okay, right, rest. Let's move to part B. Write down one decimal between 1 out of 10 to 1 out of 5. Okay, so with that, we know 1 out of 10 and 1 out of 5. What we can do is, because we multiply this by 2, right, it will just be 2 out of 10. So it doesn't really do anything. So let's have 10 5. We will then be times 20. So times 4 times 2. Okay, and then times 2 over here, and times 4 over here. Okay, so then this will then become equal to 2 out of 20 and oops, okay, 2 out of 20 and then 4 out of 20. Okay, so I think this is much better, right? 4 out of 20. Okay lah. To 4 out of 20. So over here, what's the one decimal in between these two? In this case over here, so 2 plus 4, and then divide this by 2, this will be 6. So 3. So that means go to 3 out of 20. Oops. Okay, put this, but this will be 3 out of 20. So that means this will then be equal to, we times 5 times 5 times 5. So this will be 15 out of 100, which means this is equal to, I really go one round. 15 out of 100, which is equal to, wait, this will be 0.15. So the answer is 0.15. There you go. That's the answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, question 23. A machine started packing snacks at 8 a.m. at a rate of 300 packets per hour. After every 8 hours, it will stop for 2 hours. How many packets can it pack by 11 p.m.? Okay, so from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m., make this medium, is equal to how many hours? So 11 p.m. So that means 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. is, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. is equal to 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., which is equal to plus 12 p.m. to 11. So it's 8 minus 12, this is 4 hours, plus 12 to 11 is 11 hours, which is equal to 15 hours. Okay. So for every 8 hours, it was stopped for 2 hours. Okay, so for many packets. So 8 hours. What is a good way to explain this? It is, I don't need to be large, too big. Right. So first 8 hours is equal to, let me just go first 8 hours equal to 300 times 8, which is equal to 3 times 8 times 100. Same. So 100. 3 times 8 equal to 2400. Okay, then that means remaining is equal to 15 minus 8 is equal to 7 hours. Okay, so then after time left after stop 2 hours, which is equal to 7 minus 2 equals to 5, then 5 hours. So next 5 hours is equal to 300 times 5, which is equal to 1500. So total is equal to 2400 plus 1500 equal to 3900. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 3900. Okay, so that's it. Let's move to the next question. Question 24. Right, so a swimmer has to swim a total of 3 races in a competition. The timing for Ryan's first 2 races are shown below, 4.6, 4.1. Ryan's average timing is 4.3 for 3 races. What is the timing for his third race? So total for 3 races is equal to 4.3 times 3. This is 12.9. Okay, so third race timing is equal to 12.9 minus 4.6 minus 4.1, which is equal to 12.9 minus 8.7. In this case, is equal to 4.2 minutes. Okay, so that's the answer, 4.2 minutes. All right, let's move to the next question. Question 25. The figure is made out of square and 2 triangles. The area of the square is 100 centimeter square. Okay, so I'm going to write down here 100 centimeter square. Poop, beep, poop. Okay, so find the shaded area of the figure over here. Okay, so in this case, let's get side of the square. Side of square is equal to square roots of area, which is basically roots of 100 is 10 centimeter. Okay, so we know that the side is 10 centimeters. I'm going to write here 10 cm, and then same goes here as well, 10 cm. 10 cm as well. Okay, so okay, basically I want to write this down. So shaded figure is equal to left triangle plus right triangle. Okay, so in this case over here, left triangle plus right triangle. Okay, let's use the so left triangle plus right triangle is basically, right, since height of both triangle the same, so basically you just get the left triangle and right triangle will be just one triangle lah. So that means base, so shaded figure is just one big triangle. Okay, so base is equal to 35 minus 10 equal to 25 centimeters. So one big triangle one big triangle is equal to half times base times height is equal to half times the base is 25 times height is 10. So this will be 25 half times 250, which is 125 centimeter square. There you go. So the answer to this is 1 to 5. Okay. So to just give you a better visualization of this, if I were to just combine these two triangles over here, and then we just minus 10, right? You will get the base lah. So one big triangle basically. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 26. Okay, a pattern is formed using the letter B, C, D. The first 21 letters are shown. The letter D appears 50 times in a pattern. What is the smallest possible number of B letter appearing in the pattern? Okay, so we just want to see what is the repeating pattern. So BBC, BDD, BB, BC. So BBC. Okay, so BBC here. So BBC, BDDB. Then the next one is this BBC, B, DDB. Okay, so repeating. So we have a repeating pattern here. Repeating pattern. In this case, like this. Right. So I'm gonna write down repeating pattern is equal to B, B, C, B, D, D, B. Okay. So we want to number. So numbered repeating pattern, okay, is equal to, so one will be 1, the second B will be 2, then the C, first C is 3, then the fourth is B, right? The fifth is D, the sixth is D, and then 7 is B. Oops, 7. I mean, the last one is B lah. In this case over here. Okay, so now we have the number repeated. The letter D appears 50 times in the pattern, with smallest number of letter B appearing. Okay, so one repeating pattern has two Ds. So number of repeating pattern with 50 Ds, right? Two Ds, I'm going to put here, is basically equal to 50 divided by 2, which is 25. So 25 repeating patterns. Okay, so now once we have the number of repeating pattern with 50 Ds, which is 25, then one repeating pattern has 4 Bs, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have 4 Bs, so total letter of Bs is 4 times 25, which is 100. Since we want the smallest possible number, because the last B we don't need, then we can just like what do you call this, just ignore lah, basically. So from that we just minus 1, and the answer to this will be 99, as what we see over here. Okay, so there you go. So that's the answer to this. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, so question 27. So there are 6 shaded shapes in the square grid. Shade the least number of shapes such that AB is a line of symmetry. So you always want to see the diagonal, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna draw one over here. So one over here, okay, one diagonal, and then the other one, it's a half of a triangle. So I'm gonna draw a triangle like this. Okay, then the next one, we want to get half the other side over here. So this is the other side. So I'm going to draw another rectangle. Okay, then next one, you see, just diagonal again. Oops, get it here. And then next one, yep, there's no need. So that is how it should look like. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 27. Bala glued 27 unit of cubes to form the solid below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the middle 7. Okay, so draw the side view on the grid over here. So let me just draw, in this case, this is 1. So 1, let me draw 1, 1. Okay, and then we have 2 over here, and then we have 3. 3 and 3. Okay, so for this, let me just put this as 2 instead. Okay, all right, so 2 and then 2. Okay, so 1 2 3 is one row at the bottom. So one, okay, two, and then three. Then you have 2 3 here. So 2 3 here, and then just 1 2 at the top. Okay, hopefully, okay, it will look something like this. All right, so let's move to part B. So Bala painted the whole solid, including the base green. How many of the 7 cubes have exactly four? So this is F. Four of their faces painted green. So let's go over here and see which of the four faces painted green. Okay, so I've drawn a 3D model of this. Okay, so if you were to look around, this over here is not it. So this one, not really, because it's only one. So the one that's sticking out, usually only one face is covered. So we want two faces that's covered. So the two that's sticking out at the bottom is not it. The one at the top is not it because it's only one face covered. The middle one is has one on the side, but two top and bottom, so three faces. So not really, but the two sides over here. So one has two sides covered, the side and the bottom, and the other one, the bottom one, the side at the top. So that means two only is covered. So that means the answer is two. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Question 29. Okay, so the parallelogram ABCD is drawn on the square grid. EF is one side of a triangle EFG. The sum of EFG and ADC is EFG and ADC is 180 degrees. FG is twice as long as BC. Okay, so draw a triangle EFG on the square grid below with a pencil and label it correctly. Okay, so over here, let's measure ADC. All right, so let's measure ADC. I have my protractor over here. If we were to zoom it in, you could see that ADC is roughly around, if you look at this over here, 80, 81, 82, 83. So around 82, 83, roughly there. So that means for angle EFG, so let me write here, angle ADC is equal to 80. I'm going to put 82 degrees. Then that means angle EFG is equal to 180 minus 82. This will give us 98 degrees. Right, so 800, yeah, 98. Okay, so with that said, the sum of EFG ADC. Okay, so EFG over here, let's align this. EFG over here. Okay, so EF is this part. Let me also align this part to around here, somewhere that's more aligned to the line, like this. Okay, so we also want to get this to be, let me zoom this out, 98 degrees. Okay, so let's zoom this in again to 98. So 98 is around here. I'm going to draw a line. So 100, 99, 98 around here. Okay, so then therefore we can just remove this and draw 98 degrees as what we see over here. So now once we have that, now we need to know FG is twice as long as BC. So FG, so G is here, what we've done here. I'm just going to put a dot here just in case I don't know where it is. Dot. Okay, so BC. So how do you measure the length? Usually what I like to do is this. Measure the triangle that you form, right? One is to, what is this? 1 2 3 3. One is to 3. So we do the same to EFG. So whoops, we'll just move this. 1 is to 3. Okay, so that means we, if it's twice long, we just do the same thing over here. Okay, so that means we just travel over here to this part. Okay, in this case over here. So, and now from there, we can just draw the last line to E, right? So let's draw another line to E over here. Okay, there you go. And that's It's for this over here. Okay, that's the answer lah, right? So this is G in this case. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next and last question over here. Right, so Alima had an album of local and foreign stamps in the ratio of 3 to 4. She gave away an equal number of local and foreign stamps. The total number of stamps she gave away is 40. The ratio of number of local stamps and foreign stamps left in the album became 4 is to 7. How many local stamps did she have at first? All right, so since in this case it says here give away equal number of local foreign stamps, this is what we call constant difference. Okay, so that means if given away the same thing, the difference will don't remain. Yeah, doesn't change. So that means we if you were to write here local to foreign to what is this called? Difference, right? This is so this one will be 3 is to 4 and then is to so what was the difference? The difference is 1. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? So this is before, right? Before and then after. So the change is basically gave away minus 40, right? Minus 40, right? In this case over here, right? So then after it changed to 4 is to 7. 4 is to 7 and the difference is 3. So this after after. Okay, so that means for the difference remains the same as the change is equal for both. The change is both local and foreign gave away equally, right? So therefore equally, therefore we make the difference the same. So in this case over here, that means we need to multiply this by 3. Okay, so this one, oh, and this one. Okay, so that means this difference will then become 3, right? So let me put a change and everything else below, right? That's why you see over here. Okay, so I'll just put this below, make this small. Okay, then that means we multiply this by 3 and 3 as well. So that means this is 9, right? 9 is to 12. That's what we see over here. Okay, so there you go. Let me just put this over here as okay, 1 is to 3. Okay, so now we know that the change is minus 4. We also know that we have a change of minus lah, right? So after itself minus 4, that means essentially we minus how many, right? So give away in units for local, which is equal to 9 minus 4 equal to 5 units. Okay, gave away in units for local, gave away for foreign stamps is equal to 12. Oops, 12 minus 7 is equal to 5 units as well. So the stamps she gave away total is 10, right? So total gave away is equal to 40, and then same thing by units, right? Units is equal to 5 plus 5, which is 10 units. So that means 10 units is equal to 40. So 1 unit is equal to 40 divided by 10, equal to 4. All right, so that means okay, how many local stems did she have at first? So local is this, 9. So 9 units, local stems at first. So I want to convert this to units so it's easier lah. Units and units. Then this one's units and units. All right. Okay, so local stems at first is 9 units, which is basically 4 times 9, which is 36. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 36. Okay, that's it. All right, that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are the things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.